What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Savoy, and another re-recorded song for the Savoy Songbook 2007. And this is another one from Mary Is Coming, 1996, and it's Tears from a Stone. So this is one that I've actually re-listened to a number of times from the original album it came from. I like the alternative rock with a bit of a blues rock flavor, especially in the latter stages where the guitar really gets to a bluesy place. So it's one that I have slightly better in my head as we go to hear the re-recorded version. But yeah, I wonder again whether it's more about mixing the elements differently or whether actually the intro or a middle section or the outro will be changed in terms of the sequencing or the actual sonic character of it. So let's give it a listen. This is Savoy in a re-recorded version of Tears from a Stone, originally from Mary Is Coming, 1996, heard here on the Savoy Songbook, Volume 1, 2007. That is different.
Day strikes an old church tower a mile away, based on old transcriptions from a song we'll be mining. Tears from a stone, from a stone. Here we'll be adding curses to a prayer, taking notes down as we go along. It will be mining tears from a stone, from a stone. But never asked us who we are. You shoot a wish out to the sky. They never asked us where we hide. Yeah, where we
So maybe it's because I had the original version a bit more in mind, but that feels more different than I expected. Number one, it feels like it's a bit of the later Savoy sound, a bit more atmospheric with like keyboard sounds. It feels like the edgy alternative rock feel of the original is toned down a bit. Certainly the intro, where I think the intro for the original, it starts with like a really wicked bit of guitar, and here it just sort of like floats in with that rock meets a bit of electronic synthesis, and the bluesy guitar that I remember from the original in the latter stages was definitely toned down, and I feel like it was even replaced a bit by the like keyboard piano sounds, and there was like a, I think like a string synth too. And in the middle, that section where the keyboard was like really prominent, which I think there's like a piano line and a deeper like organ chord line in at least this version, maybe in the original too, but again, I feel like the keyboard sounds of this one were definitely enhanced, including in that middle like heavy interlude, relative to the mostly, again, alternative rock feel of the original. So in the moment, maybe I'm gonna say I like the original better, but it's funny when I say that, because again, like, by the time you get to Lackluster Me, and certainly going forward, the like self-titled album in the early 2000s, I enjoyed that shift to a more keyboard, electronic, almost like psychedelic in some cases, sound that they developed, and it felt a bit more evolved or even polished relative to Mary Is Coming, which again, I enjoyed that album a lot. But just in the moment here, hearing this with the original version pretty well in my mind, I have a sense that maybe I like the gritty edginess of the original a bit more, and perhaps in large part because of that bluesy guitar like solo or at least extended section at the end of the original version. So yeah, curious to know what people will think and how they compare. But as I said, it's funny because I enjoy the way their sound evolved as they went along, and as I said, got a bit more electronic and or psychedelic sounding. But here, for whatever reason, my brain is telling me that perhaps I prefer the original version. Nevertheless, I think Paul sounds great on vocals, and there's a couple moments where I think the blend in this version really does work. So it's not like I feel like this one is a disappointment or in any way. I just feel like maybe my expectations based on the original are left like a bit surprised, or like they went a different direction than I was thinking. And fair to say, I've talked about this a lot with classical music reactions. When I hear a symphony or concerto for the first time, you're hearing it with a specific presentation, the interpretation of the conductor, the performing skill or cohesion of the orchestra that's playing it. But then that gets sort of ingrained or burned into my mind. So then if I hear a very different interpretation, slower, faster, emphasis on certain parts of the orchestra that weren't in that original version I heard, it'll sound weird to me. And maybe the second version I hear is actually like a more appreciated or a like more artistic rendering of that symphony or concerto, but because I heard that other version first, that's the way it should be, at least as my brain understands it. So it could be that if I heard this version first and then heard the Mary Is Coming version, I might have a different opinion, but that's not the way it happened. And as I heard it here, my thought was, this is good, this is enjoyable, some parts I really like, but I missed a bit of that edgy guitar work and the bluesy flourish in the latter stages. So in any case, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.